In the biggest move of the offseason so far, Jacob Degrom has signed a 5-year, $185 million deal with the Texas Rangers. What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video. I know it has been a minute since I've seen you guys. What is up? As you can see behind me, we got some construction and stuff going on at the house. It's been a crazy couple of months. I got engaged, my fiance moved in. There's been a lot happening, but I'm excited to finally have my setup back together so I can start making more content for you guys. Before we get into today's video, I did want to give a shout out to one of our partners, Thrive Fantasy, for sponsoring this video. Check them out at the link in my description, and or use promo code NMR when you make your first deposit. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100, and you'll get some free entries into their daily fantasy contests. It's kind of like DraftKings, except for it's less competitive. There's less people in these contests, so you have a much higher chance of making some good money. So I highly recommend it. Check them out at the link in my description. Bet on some NFL, NHL, or even NBA player props right now while there's no baseball going on. It's legal in just about every U.S. state, so I would highly recommend, even if sports betting is not legal in your state, check it out, see if you can sign up, and it helps support the channel a ton. Without further ado, let's get into the video and start talking about this Jacob Degrom contract and what my thoughts are as a fan of another team in this division. All right, so as you can see here, Rangers signed Degrom to a 5-year deal, 5 years, $185 million deal. It's about $37.5 million per year, which is honestly about where I thought he would land. I knew it was going to be 30 plus. I honestly thought it might reach 40, especially with Stephen Cohen bidding against him, but Steve Cohen I don't know if Steve Cohen got outbid necessarily. It just sounds like Jacob Degrom really wanted to play in Texas for some reason. I've been to Texas before. It's not terrible, but I'd rather play in New York. I'd rather get paid $40 million to play in New York than Texas. So it's a very interesting deal. I'm not surprised because it had come out earlier in the offseason that Jacob Degrom really wanted to play in Texas, whether that was with the Astros or with the Rangers. So it sounded like the Rangers were the front runners. They showed last offseason they're not afraid to spend money when they signed Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. So it's definitely a good fit for them. Obviously, Jacob Degrom, he is the best pitcher in all of baseball. It's not particularly close. You can just see his baseball savant page. He's in the 100th percentile or 99th percentile in just about everything. You go back to 2021, same deal. You go back to 2020, similar deal. He's just been absolutely dominant for the last 4 or 5 years. He's just ridiculous. Look at these numbers, dude. It's absolutely nuts. He is by far the best pitcher in all of baseball right now. But of course, the main concern with Jacob Degrom is his injury history. Let me change this real quick. Yeah, you can see right here, he's been dominant. He's been absolutely ridiculous in 2017, 18, and 19. He was also a workhorse. He threw over 200 innings in each of those seasons, but the last 3 seasons, obviously 2020 was a shortened season, so he was actually pretty healthy for that season there. But 2021, even though he had a ridiculous season, 1.08 ERA and 92 innings pitched, that's nuts. He honestly he finished 9th in the Cy Young voting without even throwing 100 innings, which is nuts. He's just that good. And then, of course, last year only threw 64 innings. So the Rangers are really hoping he can stay healthy this time around. And if he can, they have the best pitcher in all of baseball. But as my Angels have proven, having one elite best in the game player does not make you an automatically good team. So let's take a look at the Rangers 2023 projected roster. As you can see here, the rotation looks pretty solid. Jacob Degrom, obviously best pitcher in baseball. John Gray was okay last year. He was solid. He wasn't elite. He wasn't an all-star level pitcher, but he was okay. Martin Perez was phenomenal last year. If he can repeat what he did last season, this would be a nice 1-2 punch between Degrom and Martin Perez. Odorizzi is all right. He was pretty bad with Houston last year, but he ended up being okay when he went over to the Braves, I guess. And then Dane Dunning, I was higher on Dane Dunning when they made that trade with the White Sox a couple of years ago, but as a number 5, I think Dane Dunning's a fantastic number 5 starter to have in your rotation. So we're going to see what happens. I would like them to sign another mid-level guy, like my Angels signed Tyler Anderson. I would like to see them make a signing in that range there. Maybe if they can get somebody like a Chris Bassett, that would be phenomenal. Or, you know, somebody maybe a little less pedigree than that, like maybe a Sean Manaea, an Andrew Heaney, Angels legend, or Taijuan Walker, if they want to stay with the signing Mets pitchers shtick they've got going on. So there's definitely some good options to fill out this rotation. I love this move if it's the first of a couple moves. I don't like this move if this is all they do. You know how last offseason they got Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, but didn't really do much else other than that. If they supplement their roster a little bit more in addition to this signing, I love it. But if it's just this signing, I don't like it. So we're going to see how the rest of their offseason pans out. It's a good start, but hopefully they are able to fill out the roster a little bit much. And this AL West could be really competitive. We obviously know the Astros are going to win it, but the Mariners are pretty solid. The Angels are working on their depth. And this is a good start for the Rangers. Obviously, they have some good young talent with Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker in the minor leagues as well. So there's definitely a bright future over there in Texas. And with Degrom, Seager, and Marcus Semien, they've really got their star power there. They just got to fill out the roster a little bit more. So we'll see what happens the rest of the offseason. It's a very exciting time to be a Rangers fan. If we take a look where Texas ended up last year, as you can see, only 68 wins. So like I said, I think Degrom moves that needle quite a bit. Maybe makes them like a 75-win team where they would have finished in third place last year. I just don't know if it makes them, you know, a plus 500 team, a team that's going to be able to make some noise in the postseason. But, you know, it doesn't, you never know. Last year I felt the same way about the Phillies. I didn't think the Phillies were going to go anywhere, but they ended up going to the World Series. So you never really know. I like the move if it's the start of something new, to quote Troy and Gabriella from High School Musical. If this is the start of something new, I love it for the Rangers, but on its own, if they don't do anything else, I don't really love the move. Looking at the rest of their roster here, you can actually see they've got a pretty solid lineup when it comes to, you know, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager. Nathaniel Lowe had a underrated season last year. Adolis Garcia, former All-Star, you know, he has some good potential there. Jonah Heim is a very underrated catcher. Mitch Garver's a great number 2 catcher to have there. Josh Jung is a former top prospect, so hopefully he pans out and is really good. Brad Miller, he's Brad Miller. He's a good depth piece to have. I don't really like him starting, especially they have him starting at DH. I would probably start Mitch Garver over him. Leody Taveras and Josh H. Smith. So realistically, if I'm the Rangers, I'm looking for 2 outfielders right now. 2 outfield bats would be huge for this lineup, and then maybe filling out that rotation, like I said, getting another one of those upper middle range starting pitchers. Obviously, they got their ace, and then Martin Perez was an ace last year, so it's going to be an interesting year for the Texas Rangers. I think they have a very wide margin of where they could end up. I could see them being over 500. I could see them falling off and winning 68 games again next year. So it's a very, it's a good start to the offseason. I think I said that 1,000 times now. So I do like the move. Let me know what you guys think of it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more daily MLB content. And I will see you all in the next one. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.